What fan theory do you 100% accept as true? Greg Heffley is a sociopath. He is a sociopath. It's just not mentioned. It is basically confirmed in the Rowley book. Mr. Bean is an alien. That would explain his weird behavior and why he falls out of the sky at the beginning of every episode. Not an angel instead. He falls from the sky to the sound of a choir. I always thought this meant that he died. But he was so stupid that they kicked him out of heaven back on earth. When the Red John suspect list came down to 7 names and Lorelai recited the names. Only McAllister had a prefix sheriff and not any other name. This shows he had a narcissistic personality, which was a well-known trait of Red John. Never expect a mentalist fan. There's tens of us. Dennis Reynolds is a serial killer. I don't believe this. But moments like the bird's necks in the Making a Murderer episode are so funny. What about the second crow? Okay. Fine. I just couldn't believe how weak a crow's neck was. So yeah. There was a second crow. And a third. If you must know. Zion is a part of the Matrix. This is one of those theories I choose not to read. Because the thought of that being true, for the characters, is peeping horrifying. Well, the reality of their situation is even worse. Zion only exists because the machines allow it to exist. Zion has been exterminated many times before. The humans have no hope of rebellion. They are trapped in a cave eating slop and raving to techno. This is more of a personal fan theory than a common one. But the Titan in Titan A.E. was designed to be powered by consuming dredge like it does at the end of the movie. That's why they attacked Earth. Peach is totally into being kidnapped. No one who isn't doesn't have that little security. Even more than that. She's having an affair with Bowser but doesn't know how to leave Mario. Bowser isn't kidnapping her. She leaves with him. That's why every time she gets saved she's like, oh yay. You saved me again. My own theory that in The Office when Andy proposes to Angela, the people playing his parents are different actors because they are literally actors. As in, he hired them to pose as his perfect parents because his own parents couldn't be bothered to come. The people in the season 9 episode Garden Party are his real parents, who clearly are dicks. This would actually make more sense. There's a talking head where he mentions his father had an affair by saying if it weren't for secretaries, I wouldn't have a stepmom. I always assumed it was a continuity error or that his biological mom and his stepdad were at the engagement and his stepmom and biological dad were at the garden party. But the way he interacts with them and his brother at the garden party and over the phone point to them being his real parents, making it a continuity problem. Your theory actually clears most of that up. This was a Reddit post a while ago actually, but the theory was: in Empire Strikes Back, when Luke tells R2 to stay in the ship at various times, he doesn't stay put. Because the last person to tell him that was Anakin and he never came back. My favorite R2 theory is that in A New Hope when he and Obi-Wan meet again, that unlike C-3PO, R2's memory was never erased but they pretend not to know each other. This is obviously because the finer details of the prequel trilogy weren't ironed out when A New Hope was originally released. Now the widely accepted fan theory is that Obi-Wan says nothing because he doesn't want Luke to know who he is and what his relationship was to Anakin so as to keep him from being corrupted by the influence of the dark side. Whereas R2 doesn't give anything away because he ain't no fp snitch. Undefined. Like I've said a million times, R2 is a real one. The Mad Max films do not take place in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. It's just that's what happens when a bunch of Australians get lost in the desert. Since clearly no one is lost in the first movie, I'm forced to believe that all Australian towns are a Mad Max reality. Bill Cipher is still alive inside Stan Pine's mind after the ending of Gravity Falls. The clues leading to this conclusion, from fans, were so complex. They actually involved traveling to real locations and solving puzzles. I mean, after getting his brain wiped, he's able to easily recover his memory. This would mean his brain wasn't fully wiped, so Bill most likely is still somewhere in there. That'd make sense. Yes. Which I'm quite thankful for. They didn't bail out of any consequences in order to bring Stan back. Mad Max and Waterworld take place at the same time on different parts of the same post-apocalyptic planet. They're just unaware of each other's existences. But at the end of Waterworld, they land on Mt. Everest, I think. If that's the case and it's the highest place on Earth, then wouldn't the entire Earth be covered in water? That Dora the Explorer is visually impaired. She needs the viewer's help to see something that's literally 3 feet away from her. And she doesn't look at things directly. Sebastian from Stardew Valley is a natural redhead. And the one that is almost 100% known to be true but is not yet confirmed, Abigail's biological father is not Pierre but the wizard. It's heavily hinted at. Her mom mentions having had a relationship with the wizard. They both have purple hair. And she has an obsession with magic. Peter Pan kills any lost boy that grows into adulthood. Captain Hook and his pirates are all lost boys that have escaped and aim to stop him. Isn't that canon in the books? I also think I remember reading that was the original plot of the book. Spinach is just a front. Popeye is on steroids. Sid isn't a bad kid by any means, just has a very troubled home life. 1. The speep he does to those toys is undeniably creative. It's also his escape. 2. There's a small clip where his dad is seen sleeping on a chair. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I saw a few beer cans next to the chair, but it could just be me. 3. Watch the scene at Sid's house again and tell me why the sister has all this nice speep and a neat room whereas Sid's room is a complete dump. Granted, that's just teenage dude instinct to leave a room like that. But there's also the fact that all the toys he beeps with are his sister's. There's obviously some jealousy and resentment towards his sister cause of his parents sucking as people and choosing favorites. All in all, I feel bad for the guy. He just wants to do what kids do and not have to deal with his harsh reality. Even grows up to work as a garbage man, which granted I hear pays decently, but correct me if I'm wrong please. But I'm glad he looks happy and somewhat content in Toy Story 3 though. Dude's just vibing but still has a lot of personal issues probably. Undefined. Yes. In lots of households with abusive parents, it's common for the parent or parents to tend to pick a child who is the scapegoat and one who is the golden child. They are often pitted against each other and the golden child gets all the gifts, praise, and advantages while the scapegoat is given nothing. Is constantly bullied, criticized, and berated, and made to be the source of everything that is bad or goes wrong in the family. It seems like Sid might have been cast in the role of the scapegoat and his sister is the golden child. The Paw Patrol pups are part of a post-AI initiative attempting to train enhanced, but subservient, companion animals to replace the robots that almost destroyed humanity. Everyone in Adventure Bay / Foggy Bottom / etc. are paid actors who place the pups in coordinated training exercises. Which is why Mayor Humdinger gets away with all his bull's peep. Parenthood has melted my brain. As someone who watched way too many episodes of Paw Patrol, I believe it. I mean, how else can they make the graphic designs of plans in such a short notice? Writer: Help. I'm stuck on a mountain barely hanging on by a sapling. 6 hours animating the scene later, including accidentally deleting the project and starting over. Okay pups. Mayor Goodway is stuck on a mountain hanging by a sapling. She has been on the west-facing side of the mountain since noon. So by now she has third-degree sunburns and a dislocated shoulder shown on this animation here. She has also likely fell to her death onto this outcrop about 40 meters down. Shown on this animation here. Now let's slowly go through your abilities and select which 3 will come out to the scene first. Before we call everyone else in about half an hour anyway.
Hey guys, if you like this video then smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more contents like this. And don't forget to press that bell icon to get notified for future videos. Thanks for watching. Click here to see more videos.